Hey all you heroes out there, it's Real Man Candy TV here again with a brand new video covering Blizzard's newest game, Overwatch. Overwatch is a PvP 6 vs 6 team-based first-person shooter. Similarly to Team Fortress 2, you pick a class that specializes in one of 4 different situations: offense, defense, tank, or support. There are a total of 12 different classes announced so far, but this number could definitely increase before the beta goes into testing. As it stands right now, there only seems to be a PvP mode with no campaign to play through. Rumors have stated that this is the leftover PvP from the cancelled Blizzard game, Titan. Overwatch will begin beta sometime in 2015, with signups beginning now. Just go to playoverwatch.com to register your Battle.net account. But let's get to some game info. So far, Blizzard has announced 2 game modes for Overwatch. Payload, the attacking team's objective is to move the payload to a delivery point where the defense must halt the attacker's progress until the time runs out. And point capture, 2 teams battle over control of the map, one team on offense, the other on defense. The attacker's goal is to capture critical objectives, while the defender must sustain control over them until time runs out. Both modes are objective-based, and Blizzard has stated that they don't want this game to be just another kill-based deathmatch type FPS. This will require teams to use strategy and teamwork to overcome the enemy and fight for a common goal. Along with the 2 game modes announced, 3 maps were also unveiled. King's Row in jolly old England. This is a payload map as the teams fight over control of the cart. This metropolis turns into a battlefield as heroes fight in the city streets, jumping between buildings and on rooftops. Temple of Anubis in Egypt. This is a point capture map that looks straight out of Aladdin. It is well lit with lots of alleyways and courtyards to wage war against your enemies. Finally, there is Hanamura in Japan. Beautiful cherry blossom gardens and Japanese architecture are the backdrop for this point capture map. Now let's cover each of the 12 classes that Blizzard has released information on so far. On offense, we have 4 heroes, starting with Tracer, a run-and-gun class with a twist. You wield 2 pulse pistols and have the ability to jump through space and time. You can blink a short distance ahead and even step backwards in time, transporting you back to where you were standing seconds before. Finally, your ultimate ability is Pulse Bomb. It attaches to any surface, including enemies, and detonates after a brief delay. Reaper, a dual shotgun-bearing bat out of hell. You will have the ability to turn into a shadow for a short period of time, making you invulnerable to damage, but not be able to use your weapons either. Reaper can also mark a destination and teleport with a small cast animation. Finally, you have Death Blossom, where you blast your shotguns like a hurricane around you, dealing massive damage to any enemies nearby. Pharah, a badass soldier with a huge rocket launcher that hits enemies with a large blast radius. You will have no problem traversing the map with your jump jets or crossing gaps with your hover jets either. You are also equipped with Concussive Blast that knocks back enemies and deals massive damage to shields and barriers. Then there's Barrage, your ultimate ability. You shower down enemies with a storm of mini rockets. Ponzo, a bow-wielding assassin with some tricks up his sleeve. First, you have the Sonic Arrow that emits a detection field, marking nearby enemies for you to hunt down more easily. Next, you have Scatter Arrow that ricochets off of walls, striking multiple enemies at once. He also has the ability to climb walls, but his ultimate is Dragon Strike, sending out twin dragons that pass through walls, devouring enemies in its path. On defense, there are 3 heroes, starting with Widowmaker, a skilled sniper with a few gadgets to boot. She uses a machine gun that instantly transforms into a long-range sniper rifle at the click of a button. She also has a grappling hook that latches onto surfaces and quickly pulls her to safety or to a great vantage point for sniping. Next, she has Venom Mines. These stick to surfaces, and whenever an enemy gets too close, it explodes, releasing poison gas into the air. Finally, her ultimate ability is Infrasight. Using her recon visor, she can see the heat signatures of all enemies. This ability is given to all allies as well for the duration. Torbjorn, an engineer with attitude. Torbjorn has a long-range rivet gun that also acts as a shotgun, spewing molten metal at nearby enemies that are close. He can also build an enemy tracking autocannon, collect scraps off of dead enemies and allies to repair and upgrade that turret, giving it more health, a second cannon, and a rocket launcher. You can also toss down armor upgrades which absorb damage for yourself or allies. Your ultimate ability is Molten Core. Molten Core gives Torbjorn a huge amount of scrap metal to build and repair turrets with, and also allows him to attack and build faster as well. Bastion, a deadly robot with two distinct modes of attack. In Assault configuration, Bastion is fully mobile and fires at enemies from medium range with his submachine gun. Then you can also transform into the Siege configuration, which roots you to the ground and equips you with a forward-facing shield and a Gatling gun, allowing you to pelt enemies with ease. Also in a pinch, Bastion can go into an idle state of self-repair, restoring health. Finally, his ultimate ability is Remote Mine. Bastion remotely places a mine that comes to life, dealing significant damage to enemies that venture too close. In the tank role, there are two heroes, starting with Winston, a highly intelligent gorilla with a short-range Tesla cannon that sends out bolts of lightning as long as he holds down the trigger. He is also equipped with a jetpack, allowing him to jump to extremely high locations. He can also set up a shield protector that absorbs damage, protecting anyone inside. Allies can fire from within, but the shield can be destroyed. Then Winston has his ultimate ability, Primal Rage, where he goes into a frenzy, boosting his health and allowing him to use his jetpack to assault enemies from afar. Next we have Reinhardt, a gigantic hammer-wielding behemoth. Swing your hammer, annihilating enemies, or throw up your front-facing shield to protect you and your allies from damage. Reinhardt also has the ability to charge forward, catching unsuspecting enemies and smashing them into a wall. Fire Strike. Reinhardt can deal with enemies from afar with this piercing projectile, damaging all enemies it touches. Finally, Reinhardt has his ultimate, Earthshaker, in which he slams his hammer on the ground, damaging and knocking down all enemies in front of him, allowing for easy cleanup for you and your allies. Finally, in the support position, we have three heroes, starting with Symmetra, equal parts support and damage. She utilizes a photon projector that locks onto nearby enemies, dealing continuous damage that increases over time. It also has the ability to release a charged energy ball that deals heavy damage at range. She can also set up multiple sentry turrets that automatically fire speed-reducing blasts at enemies in range. Next, she can put a photon shield on allies that absorbs incoming damage and persists as long as the allies can stay alive. Finally, her last ability is Teleporter. Symmetra places a teleporter exit at her feet that connects to the entry pad at the team's starting location. Allies can now travel instantly to the exit, allowing for swift travel into the fray. Mercy, a typical healer with a not-so-typical ability to fly. First, she has the Caduceus staff that heals a targeted ally or instead increases the amount of damage they deal while the stream is active. Next, she has the Caduceus blaster, shooting rounds at nearby enemies. She also has the ability to quickly fly towards a targeted ally, allowing for quick heals in dire moments. And she can also use her wings to safely slow the speed of her descent from large heights. Then there's Mercy's ultimate, Resurrect, instantly bringing all dead nearby allies back to life with full health. And finally, we have Zenyatta, a crazy robot monk with a taste for combat. First, he has the Orbs of Destruction, which he can fire in rapid succession or charge up several, expelling them at once at his enemies. Next, he has the Orb of Harmony, which attaches to a targeted ally, restoring health, but only one orb can be active at a time. Then there's the Orb of Discord, which amplifies damage on one targeted enemy. And for his ultimate ability, there is Transcendence. Zenyatta becomes invulnerable, but he cannot use his abilities or weapons, but restores health to all nearby allies. So that is as much information as we know so far. Make sure to check out playoverwatch.com for a more detailed look at the game. But right now, Overwatch is only confirmed for PC, but that does not mean it will not be seen on consoles. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe to my channel to also get the latest on Overwatch and other great games. Leave a comment on what you're hoping for in the game, and I will see you next time here on the Real Man Candy TV channel.